It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Chicago Bears and the Atlanta.
Younghoe Koo all set to do the honors, and we are underway from Atlanta. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their rookie quarterback, the latest in a long line of NFL QBs from USC.
For every rookie prospect, there are always nerves involved in this moment, running your team out to start a game. But there's a reason they brought him in. We're willing to make him their starter today. They believe he can overcome those nerves and lead his team to a victory. We saw him do it at the collegiate level and really make himself into a leader and someone you can envision doing the exact same thing here in the NFL.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd and 8. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The keeper there turning into a big play of 23 yards, and it moves the sticks. That may be a sneak peek on this opening drive of what this young rookie can showcase, his legs.
And normally, as you start a game, you're just thinking, can he get the snap? Can he hand off? Can he just execute? Instead, he doesn't waste any time on wrapping another dimension to his game, showing off those wheels, and picking up some nice yardage.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
This is 2nd and 8. From the shotgun, a throw for Williams. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
Man coverage on the left side, so I really like the design of this play because they opened up the field and brought their tight end the other way on a crossing route. That's a lot of ground to cover if you're a defender. I've been there before, unable to stay with his man there.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
To the air, Williams. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. To throw, Williams. Forced out to his left. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, gets him 9 yards and a 1st.
Brandon, that's a gamer move right there. Facing 3rd down, steps up, calls his own number, and nearly makes the house call. If I'm the coach, I let him take another one right here. Give him a chance to be the first one to hit the end zone after that effort he just gave him.
Swift will take it in. Touchdown, Bears.
Well, just about an ideal start to this one offensively because on the road, you want to make sure you quiet the home crowd early. And how do they do it? Nice march to start things off, let the run game find its footing early. That drive certainly checked a lot of boxes, and they finished it off with a touchdown run.
Cairo Santos on to try the extra point. And he's got it to make it 7-0 in favor of the Bears. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. And they are led out there by their mobile quarterback.
Tell you what, partner, he might just be a rookie, but he certainly looks the part of a veteran NFL starter, and he carries himself like one leading the offense out there. In a lot of ways, he is advanced as a first-year quarterback, and he came in and was right at home with this offense. That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
Now a 2nd and 10. And looking to throw, Penix. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. To the air, Penix. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
The defender certainly didn't forget about him leaking out of the backfield. There was a guy ready and waiting to pick him up in coverage, and that throw had no shot.
Now a man who did his collegiate punting just a couple hours from here in Clemson in South Carolina, Bradley Pinion to kick. This is brought in at the 21. It's a net of 40 there, a punt of 48, and a return of 8. And the Bears take over. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Looking to throw is Williams. And there's a short throw. It's caught by Komet. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
They'll come up now 3rd and 9. Throwing is Williams. Oh, that's deep for Duvernay. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3-and-out and giving the ball back to their offense.
Here comes the Bears punter now. Back deep, Ray McLeod. Pulled in at the 24. Call that a 44-yard punt, 5 on the return. And it will be Falcon football. So for the 2nd time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3-and-out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3-and-out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3-and-out. I went 3-and-out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here.
Yeah, that's a good start to drive number 2. Remember, they had to punt the first time they had it. So maybe a little bit different sense of purpose here, and they start out with a nice gain and a quick first down.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Now Penix. Flush to his right, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Montez Sweat, the man that time to fight in and drop him.
But you just knew that these rushers were eager to do that today. Put him on the ground. Their plan, introduce themselves individually to this rookie quarterback. They said hello to Big Way there with a loss of double-digit yards on that sack.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Here's Penix. And that one too wide and incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll throw with Penix. Short throw caught by Pitts. Well, hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. They'll start on the ground with Swift. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. 2nd down.
Nice chunky yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Here's Williams. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position you have to be, you just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball. It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
To throw, it's Williams. He's going to get that to Swift underneath. And he'll be stopped short of the first down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28. It'll go as a gain of 4. And that'll bring up 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. McLeod to return it. It's a 41-yard punt, but just a net of 31 following the run back. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Back now in Atlanta, second quarter action. The Falcons with the football. From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd and 6. Looking to throw, Penix. Throw out wide is incomplete.
That was not a real confident throw right there, and he's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big third down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now back to throw. That's out wide here for Robinson. And he needed to get to the midfield stripe, but he can't do it. He's about a yard short. And that's good for a gain of 6. And it'll be 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them
You have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy? One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Swift is hit, and he coughs it up. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble. Even though he recovered his own fumble, you know how much he hates to put the ball on the ground. He's going to be frustrated with himself.
And what do you think the time frame was from the time the ball escaped his grasp to him getting it back? It didn't take that long, right?
Right.
To him, it probably felt like hours because he's agonizing, like, I've got to get this football back, able to get it done.
And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They run out of the gun with Swift. Room here to run. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. 45 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
First down, and they go with Swift again. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They'll stay on the ground with Swift. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
No shortage of impressive moments from him thus far. Now he's halfway to the century mark, and we're still in the first half. There's been no answer for his running ability so far by the defense. I can't wait to see what adjustments they'll have to make during the halftime break.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them. From the gun, here's Swift. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9. They're mounting a nice drive here. Good chunk of yardage there again. O-line, they've been solid this drive.
They have that look about them right now that says, if you do anything but run the ball behind us, you're crazy. They have really moved it well on this drive, and they want to finish it off the same way.
One more time with Swift. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
They'll look to throw for it with Williams. Touchdown, Bears! Devin Duvernay. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Bears go up by 2 touchdowns. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answers for that right there.
Santos now to add the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And the end result is a Bears touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Operating from the gun, Penix. And this will be caught by Mooney. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 44 yards.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far, and never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So they'll accept that penalty, and that'll, of course, move the football up the field. So it's still 1st and goal, but now they get to try from a bit closer. He'll drop to throw. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Michael Penix taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Falcons have cut it back within a score.
Hey, you're down on the scoreboard, but now your offense is in close, and this is where, as a quarterback, you say, I've got to make a play here. Doesn't matter whether it's a pinpoint throw or a scramble like this one. He takes matters into his own hands and delivers a touchdown run.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And that one makes it 14-7. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Now 2nd and 3. Operating from the gun, Williams. He's going to float this one deep right side. Touchdown, Chicago! Olamide Zaccheaus, 58 yards. And the Bears will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Well, partner, I mean, if anybody was still questioning whether or not he had an NFL caliber arm, I think you can toss that right out the window. That was a heck of a throw right there.
I would agree totally. Question it no more. This rookie, big-time throw right there. Great poise, stepped up, trusted he could lay it in there perfectly, and he knew that his guy was going to make the catch on the other end. Nice collaboration.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and it's now 21-7. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. And the Falcons now going to go on offense late in this first half. Well, not much time remains here in this first half. We'll see if they can get something out of this drive, at least a field goal. They could certainly use it down by 2 scores. Philip Dorsett hauls it in. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Second down and a yard. They'll drop to throw. Short throw caught by Pitts. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Back to throw now on first down. Flushed out right. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Falcons going to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Second and a couple. From the shotgun, it's Penix. That's complete to Mooney. And he's brought down. 10 yards there and a first down for the Falcons.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to drop this underneath for Robinson. So we reach halftime with the visiting Bears out on top here. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We watched a solid performance out of running back DeAndre Swift. He had a touchdown run that helped get his guys this halftime lead.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It'll be Falcons football, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. So we get set to start this third quarter. Here's the Falcons offense now.
By no means certainly are they out of this contest. 2-score game start of the third quarter, but you feel like if they don't get points and then they give up points, then it can become a slippery slope. This feels like an important possession.
Yeah, and that slope becomes even more slick if you come away empty-handed on this drive, because then you give them a chance to extend their lead. You need some kind of points here, even if it's just a field goal. It's what I call one of those calming drives. Try and slow things down a little bit.
He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple. Looking to throw.
That's complete to the tight end, Warner.
First target, first catch, and a first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get off on the snap, jump too quickly.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty. They'll send the tight end in motion left.
Penix working out of the gun here.
Dorsett making the catch. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
So the completion good for just 3. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
Throwing again, Penix.
He'll take a shot for the end zone. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Here's Bradley Pinion now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And this will do the job nicely, as that'll be out of bounds just inside the 10-yard line. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half.
On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive.
And just not much to be had there. 1 yard out to the 10.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play.
Now 2nd and 9. Play action. Now Williams. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
I tell you what, that's a veteran play from a guy in his first season in the NFL. A lot of rookies are trying to force something there. He thought better of it, and that was the right decision.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. To throw, Williams. That is caught, and he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
They will run straight ahead with Swift into about the 23.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. Ball at the 23, 2nd and 8. On the option to give to Swift here. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here now a 3rd down and 8. To the air, Williams. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a 1st down.
He really looked comfortable there, scanning the situation, analyzing things, feeling the pressure, and then stepping up right through the middle and sprinting for a 1st down.
So 2 first downs, and that moves the ball to the 42 now, 1st and 10. Off the play fake, it's Williams. It's deep for Duvernay. This is caught inside the 15. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. A costly penalty there. A lineman got downfield, and for the moment, that cost him 6 points. Throwing is Williams. That's taken in by Duvernay. They'll come up 2nd and 7. Looking to throw is Williams. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. That'll go for a gain of 7. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
They'll try and run here with Swift. And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to convert on 3rd and short yardage with a gain of 4. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Atlanta. It's Bears football here. They also have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4. Swift going to try up the middle. 74 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. So naturally, they will decline it. They got the first down anyway on the play.
Who needs a penalty when you picked up the first down through hard work and effort anyway? First down.
Once again, it's Swift. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down, fourth quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it at them. We've got them now.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
As I take a look at the clock, I realize that this drive has eaten up a good portion of the fourth quarter already. Got to tell you, partner, when you're trying to salt away a game, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like.
To throw, it's Williams. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
2nd and 10. On the handoff, this is Swift. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up 1st and goal. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3-and-out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Caleb Williams taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Bears go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points. Well, I've heard you use the term put-away drive, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drive.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up out of the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, keep converting and picking up first downs. And if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
Now the point after try for Santos. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. And what a drive that was. 16 plays all told. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Atlanta prepped and readied for its next possession. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now Penix.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
This offense so far on 3rd down, not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Falcons first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And looking to throw, Penix. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They'll go for it. Here's Penix. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
And this will be caught by Mooney. So the completion good for 7 there, and that'll bring up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
2nd down and 3. Got a man, it's London. And they just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
They'll try to throw again. Here's Penix. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game. And that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them, holding them under 200 today.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down. What we just saw there, that's really been a common theme all afternoon.
A lot of pressure. That forced the errant pass. He's been under duress this entire afternoon. He just had to unload that one. He's fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
And looking to throw, Penix. And caught by London. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. On the bootleg, it's Penix. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Kyler Gordon picks it off. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. Little choice, Charles, but to go for it right there, and that pick 6 will be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, you don't know how many more possessions you're going to get, so really you're almost at the point of no option. Have to go for it. Bottom line, though, is defenders know that as well. They know you've got to throw the football. Had the right defense called, able to make a nice play on the ball, and that's all she wrote.
Santos now to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Running room at the 50. Look out. And he's going to wind up bringing this one inside the 45-yard line.
Even after that big-time return, it's not looking great for them today. But if nothing else, even if the miracle doesn't happen, they can turn to this play and say, hey, we can move forward. Maybe it's a building block for the rest of the season.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here.
And you wonder, I mean, is it even possible, especially for the quarterback, to mentally reset after that quick of a turnaround?
Well, we're certainly going to find out, aren't we? Because that play will stay in your mind, but somehow you have to compartmentalize, put it aside, pick yourself up, and get moving in the right direction.
So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
They'll throw with Penix. Dumps this one off to Algier.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. That'll give them 8 that time. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Here's Penix.
Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
They are going for it. Penix.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Bears will get the football back. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Here's a handoff to Swift.
5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves them with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.